Asylum status is a form of humanitarian protection offered by the United States. Raju Law, one of the top immigration law firms in the USA, is your trustful address for any assistance and advice regarding immigration to America. To know more, dial the number shown on your screen.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the weekly live session hosted by Raju Law. Today, I am your host, Isabella Rosario, and with me, I have none other than the principal attorney of our firm, Mr. Raju Mahajan himself. Mr. Mahajan, I hope you're doing well.
Thank you very much, Isabella, for inviting me in this show, and thank you everyone who are watching our show at this moment and will watch in future in our Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn.
Thank you so much for being here. For today's session, dear audience, we will be talking about a very important type of visa from USCIS. Today, our topic of discussion is the T visa. Mr. Mahajan, please enlighten us on this topic.
Thank you very much. Can I see the slides? Yeah, thank you very much. So one very important information is that T is a non-immigrant visa. It's not a green card application. However, from T visa, you can go for green card application. I'll talk about that at the end of this presentation. Initially, I'll talk about other important information about T visa. So T is a non-immigrant visa for victims of human trafficking. Next slide, please. So T category visa is a non-immigrant visa that is issued to the victims and immediate family members of the victims of human trafficking. And many of you already know that America suffers human trafficking a lot. A lot of people being trafficked to America every year. And one of those two major categories are sex trafficking and labor trafficking. And both of these trafficking victims are subject to T visa. There's two different kind of requirement to fulfill before they can apply for T visa. But if any of the people are victims of either sex trafficking or labor trafficking, they can apply for T visa. And it's a great remedy for their bad situation. Next slide, please. So the T status allows its holders to remain in the US for a period of up to 4 years. And after these 4 years, you can definitely apply for change of status, extension of your status, and also go for a green card application. But in general, the initial period under T visa is 4 years. And these 4 years is a non-immigrant status, even though you will be qualified for work authorization, travel permit to your home country or other countries. You will be eligible for many other government and non-government benefits, but initially it's only for 4 years. Next slide, please. So the question is, who are eligible for T non-immigrant status? So there are 4 or 5 kind of criteria you must fulfill before you apply. But one of those two is you are a victim of a severe form of trafficking in persons as defined here. These are the direct quotation from federal law. So I know federal laws are often like a very absurd or like a very boring kind of things, but let me make it very easy for you. So if you are a victim of sex trafficking and you have been transported to America to perform sex work, then you qualify for T non-immigrant visa. This is kind of like the most common form of application for T visa. However, there's also like a labor trafficking. And let me read the labor trafficking part. When someone recruits, harbors, transports, provides, or obtains a person for labor or service through the use of force, fraud, or coercion for the purpose of involuntary servitude, peonage, debt hostage, or slavery. All these will qualify to apply for T visa. I'm just giving an example. Every year, thousands of people they cross American southern border. They come to America, and many of them qualify for T visa. They don't know. Most of them they apply for asylum. However, asylum is a great remedy. I have no question about that. However, many of you also qualify for T visa if you want to apply for that. That's why I decided to talk about this visa today. So those who are crossing southern border coming to America, if you think you have a good case for asylum, of course do it. If you think that you do not have a good case, T visa could be a good option for you. Next slide, please. Those are the number one requirement, that you are a victim of a human trafficking. Then you are physically present in the United States. You must be physically present. You cannot apply for T visa while you're staying in a foreign country. The next one is have complied with any reasonable request from a law enforcement agency for assistance in the investigation or prosecution of human trafficking unless you are under the age of 18. So once you are in America as a victim of human trafficking, you definitely report to the police. Once the police starts investigating the process, or once the lawyers start prosecution, you cooperate with them. That will make you qualified to apply for T visa, and you must keep all the records, all the evidence of this cooperation. This is the key elements for T visa approval. So please, if you call 911, please keep a record of that. If you give a testimony to law enforcement agency, please keep a record of that. Any kind of hospitalization, any kind of physical treatment from doctors and anybody, any kind of cooperation with law enforcement, please keep record of those things. Next slide, please. Also demonstrate that you would suffer extreme hardship involving unusual and severe harm if you were removed from the United States. So again, you are in America with a human trafficking, you reported to the police, you're cooperating. Also, you have to demonstrate that you would suffer extreme hardship involving unusual and severe harm if you were removed from the United States. And last one, are admissible to United States. So there are some grounds of inadmissibility. I'm not going that detail into today's discussion, but if you are inadmissible, then there is a way to apply for waiver. In general, most of the people who come to America under T visa, they are admissible. So if you're admissible, that is also another requirement. Next slide, please. So now the question is, now you know that you qualified for T visa. Now, how do you apply for T visa? So the form for T visa application is called I-914. You have to fill up that form. You have to submit it to USCIS to the appropriate address. You must check the address. Also, you have to include a personal statement describing the trafficking you are or were subject to. So this is very important. A lot of people, they do not want to disclose the name or the location for all this detail of human trafficking. You must disclose those things. Those are very important information. And this personal statement, I would say, the number one, the most important document for this T visa application. You have to include a personal statement. And if you need a sample or like a guideline how to write that personal statement, we can help you from our firm. The next one is evidence to establish that you compiled with any reasonable request for assistance from law enforcement, or that you qualify for an exception or exemption. You may submit the form I-914 Supplement B. So this Supplement B is also another very important element. Supplement B form, you will not fill up the Supplement B form. The law enforcement agency, that the person, the police, the lawyer who is investigating or who is prosecuting this case, he or she must complete this Supplement B form. You must get it from him or her, get it completed, signed, and you must add this Supplement B with your I-914 form. Otherwise, most likely your case will not be approved. So please remember, this personal statement is very important. Also, this Supplement B form is very important to get T visa approved. Next slide, please. Also, evidence to show that you meet all other eligibility requirements. So, all the eligibility I described earlier, you must show that you qualify for all those things, you are eligible for all those things. Also, evidence to demonstrate that you are admissible. So again, if you are inadmissible, there is a way to apply for a waiver, but in general, you will be admissible. In most cases, people are admissible. Next slide, please. Fees. Well, before we discuss about fees, I just want to tell you one thing. So this presentation, this discussion is a very information purpose only. It's not a legal advice. It's not like a very specific information. I just want to give you a basic idea about this T visa. So if you have more question, you can definitely reach out to us, or you can do more research and other thing. But this is just for information purpose. So please don't think that, oh, I'm not giving a lot of information. It's very hard to give a lot of information because everything is subjective. Every information is depends on like a person, so it depends on your background. So I'll talk about fee now. So there is no fee for to file the form I-914. So it's totally free, therefore you do not need to apply for fee waiver or anything. However, with the form I-914, you are also eligible to submit other forms like I-765 for work authorization, I-131 for travel documents. In some situations those are also free. In some situations those are not free. If those are not free, then you have to pay the filing fee. If those are free, then you don't have to. So it kind of depends on the situation. However, the basic form I-914 is free. There is no filing fee. Next slide, please. Well, this is the last slide we will discuss today. So a lot of people, they ask me, well, T visa is a non-immigrant visa, how may I get green card? So the good news is, once you have an approved T visa, you can definitely apply for green card. So let me read the slide. T non-immigrant status is generally granted for 4 years, that I told earlier. In certain situations, you may be able to extend your T non-immigrant status by filing the form I-539 application to extend change non-immigrant status. So initially you were here in America for 4 years, then you can extend it through the form I-539. Additionally, T non-immigrants may be eligible for a green card after 3 years of continuous physical presence in the US. So, you are here for 4 years initially, and even within these 3 years, once your T visa is approved, you are eligible to apply for a green card, and then you will get green card. And remember, this green card is not only for you, but also for your family members, your spouse, and any children under the age of 21. So if you are a victim of human trafficking, this is a great opportunity. I understand, being victim of human trafficking is not a good thing. It's a severe damage to your physical and mental health. However, just to give some remedy, US government allowed this visa, and I think this is a good opportunity for anybody who is a victim of human trafficking to get T visa approved and then apply for green card and stay in America. So that was our presentation for T visa today. If anybody has any question, feel free to reach out to us for more information.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mahajan, for that informative presentation. I'm sure we all have learned lots of new things regarding this amazing visa. In the meantime, we have already had a question from our audience member. The question that has been posed by the audience member is, could you please explain a little bit about the Dignity Act? Is there any hope of passing it in Congress? Are asylees included here in Dignity Act?
So Dignity Act is a very new one. Congress just proposed it. And I told many times in many forums that American political system, especially like how to pass a law, is a very lengthy and long process and complex process. And most of the time, anytime they offer anything, it doesn't get passed. Or even it gets passed, its benefits are very limited. So I know that recently some congressmen, they proposed this bill called Dignity Act. It looks very good. I'll talk a little bit in our news section today. However, unless it is passed and signed by the president and also implemented by the USCIS, I do not want to give any hope to you, because like many other bills, many other proposals, it may not be passed. So please do not have a high hope for this. If it get passed, definitely it's good for everybody. And the short answer to your question, do asylees get benefit out of that? Yes, some benefits are also offered for asylees. However, nothing is passed yet. It's just a proposal.
I hope that answers your question. We have received another question from Mr. Mahmoud Rahman, and he asks, I have gotten an admission in a university and I want to change the visa status from F2 to F1 within the USA. If I start to study part-time and later visa is not approved, then will I be able to finish my study?
Yes, as a F2, you are eligible to study part time, and even if your change of application status from F2 to F1 do not get approved, it's okay. You can continue as a part time student and you can graduate. The problem is part time students do not get OPT and OPT extension, those CPT, those benefits. So you'll not be eligible for those, but you will definitely be eligible for graduation.
I hope that answers your questions, Mr. Rahman. Now, dear audience, we have collected some emails from our archives where people have emailed us their concerns. So let us discuss that and see what happens. One of the questions that came from us was from Miss Farzana Begum, and she asks, "At present, I am working in a government high school in Dhaka. So, am I eligible for an EB3 visa? Also, please tell me, as I am holding a government job, so does Bangladesh immigration at the airport, will they allow me to leave the country with the EB3 category visa?" Mr.
The
Mahajan.
answer to your first question is yes, you are eligible for EB3 visa. Everybody in the world, pretty much everybody, especially EB3 non-skilled, unskilled visa, it has no requirement. Anybody who can just have like a basic calculation are eligible to work for, like, gas station, grocery store kind of place. Everybody is eligible for EB3. So definitely you are also eligible for EB3. The answer to your second question is, will Bangladesh authority in the airport or other place, they will allow you to leave America with a government job, so or the government issued passport. So once your AB3 process is completed, meaning that you are getting a immigrant visa. So here, Bangladesh government has nothing to say. It's totally up to American government. A lot of time when people apply for DS 260, which is immigrant visa application, or while they're in America, they apply for I-485. A lot of time, if anybody has a diplomatic passport or like a government issued passport, sometime American consulate or USCIS requires them to submit a non-restricted passport. Usually government passports are restricted, so that may raise some issues, but you can definitely get a non-restricted passport, like a regular passport from Bangladesh government, very easily. I don't think that will make a huge impact for your application. So short answer to your question, I do not think there will be a big issue and you will be able to manage it.
Ms. Begum has also submitted another question. Her second question is, what reasons will be good for me to mention in the application to take a long leave, 1 or 2 years at my school?
Oh, that's up to you. I have no idea. I don't have any idea about the high school job in Bangladesh. So I would request you to consult your supervising boss or like other colleagues, what reason they are showing. Yeah, I have no idea about that.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mahajan. I hope that answers your queries, Ms. Begum. Another question came from Mr. Habibur Rahman, and he asks, I am interested in an EB4 or R1 visa. Can Rajula help me to find an employer for a job in the USA for the EB4 or R1 category job visa?
No, we do not help people find jobs. It's up to you. You have to find jobs. You have to find a religious institution who are willing to sponsor your R1 or EB4 visa application. Once you find a sponsor, once you find a job, then we can help you with the process. But we cannot help anybody finding any job here in America. For EB3, we have a sister organization called Great American Recruiter. They help with EB3 applications. But for R1 and EB4, I don't think they can also help either. So it's up to you. You have to find it yourself.
I hope that answers your queries, Mr. Rahman. Another person named Jenny has asked us, at present I am in the F1 visa status in the US and I applied for an EB3 visa. Now I would also like to apply for asylum here. My question is whether if I apply for asylum now, will it make any conflict with the EB3 visa process?
No, there will be no conflict. But since you are going to apply for asylum, please remember two very important information. Number one, you cannot be out of status for even a single day. A lot of time, if you apply for asylum application, a lot of attorney will advise you to go out of status and then apply for asylum. There are some benefits of that. I'm not saying there is no benefit at all. There are some benefit, but please do not do do not get a single day unauthorized stay in America before applying for asylum, that may severely harm your EB3 application. That may have no impact on your asylum, but have severe impact on your EB3 application. Number one. Number two, before your EB3 application is approved, meaning you're getting green card, you cannot be denied by any court of any immigration court in America. So to be qualified for EB3, if you apply for asylum, two very important information. Number one, you cannot be staying in America unauthorized for even a single day. Number two, you cannot be denied your asylum application by any judge in any immigration court in America. If you do not fall within these two categories, then there is no conflict between asylum and EB3. You can move both of the application forward parallelly. There is no problem.
I hope that answers your queries. Another person named Mr. 𝗟𝗏𝘆 𝗟𝗶𝘃𝗲 has asked, my sister-in-law is a cabin crew at Saudi Airline in Jeddah for the last 4 to 5 years now. She is a graduate. Her question is if Rajullah's partner company, Great American Recruitment, can arrange a job for her in the USA, which is similar to her current job for the EB3 category.
I would request them to directly contact with Great American Recruiter. I think their website is www.greatamericanrecruiter.com. Please reach out to them, ask them question directly to them. We are partner organizations, we are sister organizations, but I'm not actively involved with the day-to-day management. They will be able to answer it.
And another question asked by Mr. Shorkar is, can your partner company arrange a job in the city of Los Angeles for the category EB3 visa?
I believe they cannot, but I'm not sure. Again, I will request you to directly contact with them.
And finally, the last question we have from our archives is from Mr. Mohammed Nasir, and he asks, what kind of jobs your partner company, Great American Recruiter, arranges for the clients and for which states in the USA?
Right now, as far I know, they are hiring people for a McDonald's in Kansas. I do not know the exact city. I think it's Wichita or somewhere, but in the state of Kansas, and they're hiring for McDonald's. However, I know that some other hiring are in the discussion at this moment. So I don't know like whether those has been finalized or not. I have no idea. I would advise you to contact directly with them.
And those are all the questions we have from our archive. Thank you so much, audience members, for watching. Thank you, Mr. Mahajan.
Now,
my final question to you is if we have an update regarding the USCIS.
Yeah, thank you. So this week we have a few updates. Number one is US deports more than 11,000 migrants in the week after Title 42 ended. Many of you already know that there is a law called Title 42. It's about like a COVID and other thing. I'm not going that detail into Title 42 here. I just want to give you information that 11,000 migrants has been deported, meaning they have been deported to their home country after the Title 42 ended. So this is definitely a sad news for them. Next one is Senate passes resolution to return to Trump-era public charge policy. Again, usually I do not address those kind of activity by the Congress or the Senate because most of the time it has no impact at all. However, this one is a little more significant because Senate, many of you already know that Senate is like a Democrat dominated, and since Senate already passed it and House is like a Republican dominated, so most likely they will pass it too. Once Senate and House both pass a bill, most likely President Biden may sign it and it may be effective as a law. In that case, this public charge rule is like a huge point of discussion for the last 4 or 5 years. Trump made a significant changes, made it very hard for the immigrants to get I-485 approved, and then Biden came to power. He changed it back and made it easier. Now there's a discussion. So this public charge rule is always is a hot topic in immigration discussion. So again, this is not finalized yet, just Senate passed it. So I would advise you to keep your eyes open about this public charge rule and see what happens next time, but nothing is implemented yet. The next one is that Dignity Act. Congress introduces sweeping immigration reform bill. in short, it's called Dignity Act, and it has a lot of talking points, lot of things to discuss, and they are talking about how a undocumented person can get green card eventually. Again, this is just an introduction to Congress. There is a long and very complex way of any American bill to be passed in both houses, Congress and Senate, go to President's office for signature, and then go to USCIS for implementation. It's a long way to go. Again, please do not keep a high hope. This is just another bill introduced by some congressmen, nothing finalized yet. Those are the discussions for immigration news for this week.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mahajan, for those updates. Thank you so much, audience members, for being with us today. We will be back at the same time and the same day next week as well. See you then. Thank you so much for being here.
Asylum status is a form of humanitarian protection offered by the United States. 𝗦𝘂𝘃𝗧 Law, one of the top immigration law firms in the USA, is your trustful address for any assistance and advice regarding immigration to America. To know more, dial the number shown on your screen.